So you want to start a podcast. Lucky for you, we have all the tips that you're going to need to podcast from home. On today's episode, do you need all the expensive gear? What do you need? And what incarnations is a blanket for it? So it looks like for the time being, we're all pretty much stuck at home. So starting a podcast could be a pretty good idea. The first thing that you need to do, treat the room. Test, test, test. So you can hear this if you go to a room that has no furniture in it, like my bathroom. Hear the echoes and reverb bouncing around the walls? That's not what you want, versus a room that has some furniture in it, like my bedroom, which has a giant bed in it and some rugs and some foam on the walls. This is what you want to stop the sound from bouncing around too much. Notice that there's already less echo and reverb in here just by having these basic home things in my room. We can take it a step further though, and if you want the best sound quality possible and don't have a soundproof closet, then do a blanket for it. And this is exactly what it would sound like. Just take your nearest blanket, throw it over yourself in the mic, and you're already dampening a lot of the outside sounds that happen and bounce around your room. Never underestimate the power of a good blanket for it. Next, you'll want a mic stand or a mount to avoid all the knocks and wobbles that you'll get when moving around the microphone. For example. Speaking of which, microphones. If you're gonna podcast from home, you're gonna need a mic. Plenty of people get by just fine with a USB mic like the Blue Yeti Snowball or the Yeti X, which are great mics that you can plug into your computer through the regular USB port with no further equipment necessary. But if you want to step it up a bit in quality, then you're going to be looking at something called XLR microphones, which is what I'm using here. Now they do sound better, but you're also going to need more equipment because the cables don't plug directly into a computer. To do that, you're going to need an audio interface or recorder that will take your vocals and convert them into a digital file, like a WAV or even an MP3, that you can then transfer to your computer to work with. Once you have your file, open it up on your editing program of choice. Now there's plenty of options to choose from here, and there's really no wrong answer. One of the more popular ones is called Adobe Audition. Adobe Audition has plenty of effects and plugins that you can use to add onto your vocals, but it's not free. If you don't feel like paying a subscription, Audacity is another well-known audio program that's free and one of the best programs around, period. So this is a good time to bring up headphones, because what you're gonna want is a pair of headphones that don't embellish any particular frequency too much. Basically, don't use Beats for this. Most consumer headphones are tuned to make certain frequencies, the low notes for example, sound louder than others. What you want is a pair of headphones that will let you hear as close as possible what the recording actually sounds like, without making one note sound way too much louder than the other. So I'm using the Sony MDR7506 headphones, which are a tried and true classic, but there are other options you can choose from as well. You can go with the AKG K371 headphones, or even the Audio-Technica ATH M40X headphones. Those are another good option. There's no right answer here because there's no such thing as a perfectly flat pair of headphones. All of them tweak the sound a little bit, but you want to get something that's as close to neutral as possible. Take that file, line it up in your editing program of choice, and you're good to go. You've made your first podcast from home.